They are the favourites to win the Champions League. They are the favourites to win the Premier League. But Merce, going into the weekend, their only win this year had been against Accrington. And after 90 minutes against Brentford, obviously they were dropping more points. And I bet I'd have been sat here tonight if that had finished 0-0 saying, are Liverpool going to blow it? Are they going to bottle it? But then on comes Darwin Nunez, wins the game 2-0. Did that therefore feel like quite a significant moment in their season?
I think it was a pivotal weekend. I really do. I think that result put the pressure on Arsenal. I think Arsenal are out doing their warm-ups. You know, it's 0-0. You're thinking, here we go, got a big chance here. You come back in and they've scored 2 goals in injury time. And it sort of puts the pressure on you. And I just think that was pivotal. Massive weekend. And I think for me, it's up to Liverpool now. And people say, oh, there's 16 games to go. There isn't 16 games to go. You know, they've still got to play some of the teams down the bottom. They're near on give me games. You know what I mean? They've probably got about 8 games, 9 games left top. So for me, it'll be Liverpool's to throw away now. There's no doubt about that.
And it's, you know, not for the first time this season they've come on strong and changed things in the second half of games, Clinton. They've scored 19 more goals in the second half of matches than they have in the first. We saw it in the Forest game as well. How much credit should we be giving Arne Slot then for what he does in the second half of matches?
No, huge credit. I've said it many times. The job he's gone in and done has been fantastic. And listen, sometimes it works for you and makes substitutions as it works. It's the luck of the draw. But I've seen it when I was at Forest. He brought on Tsimikas and Jota. Tsimikas puts the ball into the box and Jota gets the free header. So everything he's touching now is turning to gold. But yeah, Nunez come on and had a big effect because they didn't have Jota. Jota made an impact in the midweek against Forest, but they had Nunez who can come on. And sometimes when the forwards are not firing, I heard Merce say it about a month ago, he said Liverpool will always score goals. No matter who the starting front three are, when you look to the bench, they have players that can make a big difference. And on the weekend, it was Darwin Nunez.
Liverpool have actually scored 10 Premier League goals in the final 10 minutes this season, which have earned them a total of 6 extra points. Without them, they'd be level on points with Arsenal and Forest. Darwin Nunez, Jamie, 7 goals and 4 assists as a sub in his Liverpool career, which is the most in the Premier League since he joined. I know he wasn't signed as an impact sub. Is that what he's becoming?
Well, he certainly won't want that label. There's no chance about that. When you come in and you come in as the main man, as Liverpool's centre forward, there's no chance that he's speaking to people about, I'm happy being a super sub. Not a chance. But I just think it's about confidence for strikers a lot of the time. We know one thing is guaranteed from him, and the fans are taking into him straight away on the back of his work rate. No doubt about it. He's a handful the whole time. Whatever happens, he gives, just on the back of that, he gives Salah more space and the boys in behind to operate. But obviously, he's there to score goals. I think that you come off the bench sometimes, the game opens up a little bit. It's not as tight, particularly in the second half, and you get more opportunities instead of him playing for 70 minutes and coming off. But no, look, for them, him being confident and scoring goals is a huge asset, obviously, moving forward to the second half of the season. But now he's got to find his feet and get himself in that starting lineup where he'll want to be.
Divock Origi held cult status at Liverpool, scoring big goals off the bench, didn't he, Michael? But you don't sense Darwin Nunez would be happy with that?
Definitely not. Different players. Sometimes you talk about Origi, he always seems to come on and he was never brought in as a big signing to go, well, he's going to be our number 9. Nunez was. And he isn't a clinical finisher, but I tell you what, come Brentford Saturday night, he was clinical when he came on after 65 minutes, and I think that's a difference for Liverpool, echoing what the guy says. They've got a squad depth that is better than anyone else. You talk about Harvey Elliott coming on, Curtis Jones coming on, Chiesa, who they only signing in the summer, cheap, he's had injuries, but he's still a good squad player, although we haven't seen an awful lot of him. And I just think Arne Slot, what he's doing at this moment in time, since he's come from the door, in fact, should I say, he's been a breath of fresh air. He's got a group of players that were arguably competitive in the Premier League, but came up short last year under Jurgen Klopp. But wow, has he turned it round. And you know, he's tweaked a few things here or there. He didn't have to make drastic changes. And I think when managers come in, I listened to Tony Mowbray on a different side. Come in, tweak a few things here or there. Don't try and change something that isn't broken. And all I can do at this moment in time is give Liverpool and Arne Slot compliments.
You think about who would be down the middle for Liverpool, and, you know, Jota, when he's fit, would normally be there. But he hasn't started a league game since October, Jota. He's been injured, of course. And Slot's gone with Diaz, hasn't he, down the middle? And Gakpo completes the front three, and Nunez is normally on the bench. But on the evidence of what he can do, should he be starting more down the middle for them?
I mean, he's come on and scored 2 goals. I mean, if you look at him this season, he's critical of missing good chances. You know, he's not a one in two chance. You know, 2 chances, 1 goal. He needs 5 or 6 chances, I think. You know, and you can't really afford that. You know, I think they need someone who's going to score goals. It is going to get tight up there. And I say that where teams are going to have, they've got that reputation now, Liverpool, teams are going to sit 10 behind the ball. You know, for me, I don't think Nunez is one of them when the game opens up, and it did open up against Brentford, didn't it?
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Went like a basketball game. And then that's when Nunez comes into his own. I think when it's a tight game and teams come and sit back, then you want your Jotas and people like that, your Gakpos and your Diaz's. So, for me, I wouldn't play him. I think he's a great weapon to have on the bench at the moment.
Yeah, and you mentioned some of the other names there, all different types of players. And that wealth of options up front, Clinton, Salah, Diaz, Gakpo, Jota and the man Nunez, is that what, I think as they hinted there, really sets them apart from their main rivals?
Well, yeah, you look at Arsenal at the moment. They're not scoring goals. Saka's not there. They're not scoring goals. These lot have loads of goals in between them at the moment. So I'm not saying Arsenal not scoring goals. I mean, like the front players. If you compare them to the Liverpool front players, I think Arsenal have to have their best 3. And then when you look at their backup, you're thinking they can't have an effect. Like the Liverpool backup players are having an effect. Nunez sits on the bench. I think Mercy's spot on. I don't think Nunez can play in the starting team when teams are sitting behind the ball. But when the game spreads like it did against Brentford and they're spacing behind, he makes a big difference. Even Diaz don't like playing as a number 9. I was at Forest the other day. He kept dropping, and you can hear the manager saying, stay high, stay high. He wants to play on that left-hand side. Because Gakpo's playing so well, they don't really have that natural number 9. I think the number 9 they have is Diogo Jota, because he's the one who wants to go in behind, spinning behind. For me, I think he's their best finisher. People might say I'm crazy because of the numbers Salah gets, but when you watch Jota, his movement and the way he can finish when he's in front of goal, I think it's fantastic. And that's why I think it's Liverpool's to lose. And I don't think they will lose. I think they'll win the Premier League.
Yeah, and how important are all those options going to be as the months go on and we head into the final home straight of not just the Premier League, but the rest of the competitions they hope to still be going strong in by then?
Yeah, I think I go from what Mer said, is that teams will play in different ways against them depending on their playing. If they play against an Arsenal will be in a situation where they're going to have to go and win the game if the gap's like it is now, and it might suit a Nunez then to play. And that's the thing that Slot's got, is those different options, Jules, whether it's from the start or on the bench to come in. I don't think... I look at a lot of other sides and I think they've got one way of playing, which is great to have that philosophy, but they've only got the players to come in and be kind of like for like, but not quite as good. They've got different options and different ways to play because of the personnel and the way that they've recruited. So I think that is probably what gives them the edge in this run-in and being in the other competitions, for sure.